Well, okie dokie, and welcome to your Smackdown review, people. You know, what a Smackdown this was. How uneventful can you get? I mean, this post WrestleMania. I mean, it's like they've been on autopilot. Greatest Royal Rumble. It's almost like it didn't even happen. Backlash is almost like it was non-existent. It's not even talked about anymore. They've been on the real roll, to say the least, a negative roll. It's like they're going through these shows almost like in a cloud, and there's nothing even going on. Again, just like on Raw, you have noticeable absences. There was no Randy Orton. There was no Jeff Hardy. Key parts of, you have a whole champion missing from your show. He's not even there. You have tag champions that, they're in a promo here. They haven't showed up in like a month. They don't have competition. Okay, well, let's get them competition. They're not going to do that. They're biding their time. So many glaring instances of where they don't know what to do with these guys. So they're just keeping them off TV, doing little promos. But where was the excuse for Jeff Hardy not being there? And there's not even an excuse for Randy Orton not to be there. He just kind of shows up when he wants to. And I know there were rumors of him working a limited schedule, but as far as I know, that was never actually confirmed. He never actually went through with it. I mean, he always shows up for the pay-per-views. Watch him be at Money in the Bank, but he hasn't even been there. Where is the guy? Just shows up every couple of weeks. He's not there one week, then he's there the next week. I mean, I don't get how you have 2 hours of television. So much nonsense going on with selfie promos and other bullshit going on in the show. Dragged out matches. We have a match on this show where it's going to be the main event of the next pay-per-view. Well, not the main event, but it's going to be a championship match at the next pay-per-view. So let's just start from the top. We started off with Daniel Bryan getting an interview from Renee Young. He says that, he still wants to be at the top, even though he failed to beat Rusev last week. That was a bit weird. They have Cass go down, to Bryan. We think that Bryan is going to be unstoppable. And then, the very next night, they just have him get flattened by Rusev. It made no sense whatsoever. You made like Bryan is this huge giant killer. Cass comes out to the ring. He says, "You're never going to get rid of me." And then Bryan just obliterates him. And being a big Daniel Bryan fan, I have to say I didn't even like this. And why? I don't like seeing a guy the size of Daniel Bryan getting the best of a guy the size of Big Cass. This didn't really look good. Cass looked weak. It's okay maybe if Bryan could have got a kick on Cass, when he wasn't looking or something like that. I'm not a big fan, of kicking people when they're not looking. Obviously, check all my rants on Sasha Banks, but, if they're going to do those kicks, this would have been the perfect time to do one. Something like that. He could have at least tried to get one up on Cass, at least do something with a chair. No, he just, with his own bare hands, manages to get Cass on the ground, starts, slamming his legs into the ring post, and Big Cass has just been dominated, been manhandled by a guy the size of Daniel Bryan, a guy who's 5'8", 5'9", beating up a 7-foot tall guy. I'm sorry, but even as a Bryan fan, I mean, this was not booked well. You can't just have this guy come out here and completely dominate somebody who's double his size. It's just, unless they're giving up on Big Cass, unless they want to write Big Cass up, because it looks that way. I mean, you made this guy return. There's rumors of him having heat backstage, that he didn't listen to McMahon giving a direct order. The rumor is that when he had that segment with the midget dressed up as Daniel Bryan, he was only supposed to hit a big boot and then get out of the ring. They said that he mounted the midget with the punches, and that when he got backstage, Vince McMahon tore him apart. I don't believe that story. That's just another one of them dirt sheets stories that they just throw out there that, maybe somebody, one of these leakers, these moles in WWE gives these stories to the dirt sheets, and Wrestling Inc. put it out there. I don't believe it one bit, but, this is just an example of the bad booking, just straight up. Like, it's not even punishment or anything like that. Sometimes they don't even think, even with a 7-foot guy, this is how sad creative is. They don't even think if they put the guy out there and have him get beat up by a smaller guy that it's going to make him look bad, that it's going to hurt his credibility as a 7-foot monster. I mean, if that's even what they were going for, because if he's supposed to be a monster, I mean, he's lost every match since he's been back. He's been on the receiving end of a beating. He tapped out. Especially when they tried to cover up him losing to Daniel Bryan, it sounded ridiculous. He said that he didn't, give up, even though he did give up, and he just wanted to get right back up and beat Daniel Bryan down again. Just the things he was saying in the promo, and then getting in the ring and getting his ass kicked. I mean, it just shows creative doesn't care about their characters. They're not concerned about protecting anybody. So, like I said, this will show everybody who says, like, I'm just a Daniel Bryan mark and a hypocrite. You'll see that this is something that I didn't even like, involving Bryan looking strong. This is not the way to make Bryan look strong at the expense of another promising talent. New Day defeated The Bar. We've already seen this match. We're seeing it again. They're going to put all three of these guys into Money in the Bank. Is that what they're doing, or is it going to just be two of them? I think this is a little bit old. Why is a tag team in Money in the Bank? Does this even make sense? You're going to put a whole team in Money in the Bank? Most of them, I look at them and none of these guys are like world championship material. Yet they're going to throw them all in there. I don't even know. The Bludgeon Brothers cut a promo backstage, is what I was talking about before. They show pictures of the Usos, of New Day, of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. If you don't have any challengers for these guys, then you make some. I don't get it. Instead of keeping them off TV, constant promos and everything. You didn't even finish the story with the Usos and Naomi. There was no follow-up to that. They didn't even do anything with that angle. They're just completely... How do you not know how to book two guys the size of Rowan and Harper? Is it really that hard? It's the same thing I even thought about with the Authors of Pain. They weren't even on Raw. That was another noticeable absence from Raw. Aside from Ronda Rousey, they couldn't even figure out what to do with that team. What if the Authors of Pain were on SmackDown, and then at least maybe they can challenge the Bludgeon Brothers? They don't even think about this shit. The funny thing is, you look around the YWC. And you'll see even better ideas, even from the Marks, to be quite honest. Even the Marks come up with better ideas. Because it's better to have, just semi-okay ideas rather than no ideas and keeping the guys off TV. And we're supposed to, not notice that they're not there. Or notice that the reason why they've been cutting promos every week backstage in these pre-taped segments is because they have nothing for them. And I don't see how you could look at guys like this and not be motivated to write something. I don't know how these writers have jobs. It's a modern day mystery when it comes to why the creative is still kept on, why they don't even switch around creative and try to come up with, you know, fresh ideas from new people, get some new faces in there. Styles cut a promo backstage with Renee Young, and this was just plain fucking goofy. He talks about, you know, the stipulation he's going to pick that. So this is the thing. They've already had way too many matches, him and Nakamurphy. They had a match at Mania. They had a match at the Greatest Royal Rumble. They had a match at Backlash. They've been involved in constant tag team matches with each other. Now we're going to have another match tonight to set up for the eventual match at Money in the Bank. Okay, well, this match is going to decide the stipulation of that match. I don't care. You're going to have a 20-minute match right before what's going to obviously be another 20-minute match at the pay-per-view. And now we're being told that we're going to be getting longer pay-per-views. You know, I don't understand how I'm going to sit through these things, even for the purpose of reviewing it for my subs. They're making this really, really hard for me. I mean, it's bad enough that these pay-per-views are long-winded and terrible. I mean, you know, Backlash was already trials and tribulations for me. I mean, having to sit there through a boring-ass show so I could cut a video. I mean, it's worth it at the end of the day, but my God, it's going to be a challenge. I'm going to have to sit through 3.5 hours, nearly 4-hour pay-per-views. You know, and they're not even going to give us anything good. It's like I don't even get anything out of it. You know, like at the end of the pay-per-view, you know, I don't even get a good show. I don't even get a good conclusion. I don't feel like I got anything out of the show other than pure misery. So he says that the match could be an inverted. What stipulations is he going to pick? It could be an inverted scaffold match. It could be, he says, an Inferno Kennel from Hell, Hell in the Cell match. He said with like guard dogs. You know, he was referencing the Kennel from Hell match. Maybe he did that for Russo, you know, since Styles and Russo were tight in TNA, which was cool. Then Renee Young makes a goofy comment and says, "Oh, is that the match with the referees dressed up as Elvis?" Like, huh? Like, I get it's supposed to be a joke, but once again, like, it's like WWE's making their first joke. like they're a 5-year-old and they heard something funny in class and they wanted to see if they could craft their own joke from scratch, and they finally, you know, say, "Oh, let's try this one out on national television, no less," and you know, it comes up as a bomb. I mean, come on. I mean, really, is that supposed to... And even Styles is a baby face, man. I mean, it worked in TNA up to a point, but he's so much of a better heel when it comes to his WWE persona. They just make the guy way too excitable. He's like this every single minute, and the way how they're having him talk, he's just, I don't know, he sounds like an excited Mark, like an overexcited kid on a sugar rush. I mean, it's like Seth Rollins, forced enthusiasm to the max. I mean, they make it like he's trying to be super affable, he's trying to be super friendly and nice, like a man starved for a pop from the crowd. Enough is enough already with the babyface Styles. It's not good for him. He's just, you know, like he tries too hard on the mic, it seems. And they give him these lines, and he just ends up looking like a goofball. And Renee Young wasn't helping matters with her goofy-ass comment as well. Andrade Cien Almas defeated some jobber, whatever her name is. Was it Sophia Vegas or some shit like that? I don't know. You know, she's the manager or whatever. This girl is like shorter than Alexa Bliss. It looks a little bit weird. It's like some tiny fucking woman with Cien. I don't even think Cien Almas is that massive, really. What's he, like 6'1", 6'2", or something? This girl is like, super fucking tiny girl. Also a bit annoying as well. Just, I didn't get anything. So we wait for the big debut, and he's just beating a jobber. We knew this is how he was going to debut, and that's the sad thing about it. Remember when people used to debut back in the day, they could actually, like, really make a splash, and this is what this girl, Vega is talking about, making a big splash. And we all know that he's going to be booked into obscurity. We all know that at 3 weeks in, he's already going to lose a match. I mean, come on, guys. We already know how it's going to go before it even happens. Like I said, you've already seen it with every other star on the roster. Nobody has momentum. Like I said, they bring Big Cass back. The guy's been gone for 8, 9, 10 months, whatever the case may be. He's been gone for so fucking long. And then he comes out, they have him look strong on the mic, whatever, your opinion is. Some people liked the promo, some people didn't. Then he comes out at the pay-per-view, he gets tapped out of all things to Daniel, but not even pinned, not even schoolboyed. He taps out, the most emphatic victory you could get, that he jobs right out. And then you see tonight how he just gets obliterated in front of a raucous, annoying fucking UK crowd. And you see where Big Cass's career is at. And he was an NXT guy. You see with Bobby Roode, this guy's been all over the place with the wins and losses. He's got no character. He doesn't really have anything going for him other than glorious and a theme song that's completely overrated. So how about Cien Almas? What the hell is this guy going to do that's so different? Think about it. He's not as impressive as Big Cass. He doesn't have a 7-foot-tall stature. Yeah, the guy's got a good physique, but so does Bobby Roode. And look at Bobby Roode. What is Cien Almas' character? Obviously, he's supposed to have that classy Latino gimmick. It looks like a Del Rio ripoff. What is the deal with everybody coming out of NXT having these rip-off gimmicks? First, it's No Way Jose ripping off Adam Rose, which was another NXT guy. And now you've got Cien Almas coming in here with the Del Rio gimmick. Okay, he wasn't an NXT guy, but I mean, like, they're reusing a lot of the same gimmicks as of late, and it's pretty fucking noticeable, to say the least. So I wasn't really impressed here. Why should I be? We all know how it's going to go already before it even gets started. Rusev was backstage with Aiden English. He's got a new song. And now Lana showed up. And it just shows you. Lana wasn't there last week, but she was there the previous week. And she talked about how, in not so many words, that Rusev was being held back by Aiden English. Now they're all pals. I mean, what do you want me to say here, really? I mean, did they already change their mind? I mean, does anything at least remotely stay consistent or make any sense on this show? Or is it just a fucking free-for-all, basically? Because that's what I think it is. I think there's probably somebody who's a klutz on the creative team, and, they've got all their papers in order. Oh, it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show. And then the guy, is on his way to Vince's office to have him approve the script for SmackDown, and whoa, he just falls, and all the papers go everywhere. And I think he's got, page 3 in front of page 5, but 4 is all the way in the back, and Vince just says, oh, fuck it, we're going to wing it. And, there you go. That's why everything doesn't make sense on SmackDown, because somebody dropped all them papers. I don't know. It's the best explanation I could come up with, to say the least. I mean, I don't know what you guys want me to say. The show doesn't make any consistent sense. So that have to explain it. There's some klutz on creative who dropped all them papers, and that's why everything's so crazy and out of sync and out of line with the rest of what's going on. So and the other thing, didn't Lana not have her accent 2 weeks ago? Now she has like sort of an accent, but it's not as strong as it used to be. But it's still there. It's still lingering. And then we watch Total Divas, and she doesn't have one at all. We all know that that's a work. So what is the point even? I've said this time and time again. When you have The Undertaker on Instagram, and you even make it part of the storyline, where Cena is saying that, and listen, why am I talking about Undertaker? Because you're going to hear what I'm going to say in a second here, why it all makes sense, it all fits together. Because I'm saying, we're talking about fake accents here, right? You don't have an accent, why are we putting out, especially when we have another show on TV that breaks kayfabe and shows us that you don't have one. So, going back to WrestleMania, See, and the build-up. Cena's talking about how Michelle McCool, The Undertaker, is so The Undertaker is married. The lid's been blown off that one. We all knew that a long time ago. People were chanting Undertaker during Michelle McCool's appearance during the Royal Rumble. So we already know that The Undertaker's mystique of the dark side and the Phenom gimmick has pretty much been tarnished there. It would have been silly to go back to the Phenom Dark Side gimmick, especially since we're seeing The Undertaker doing fucking heavy squats over on Michelle McCool's Instagram page. So it would have made all the sense in the world to just have him come at us himself as the American badass, and it would have been a good time. But no, they still went with the Dark Side gimmick. Even though Kid Rock had been inducted to the Hall of Fame, it would have been perfect to play him down to the ring with American Badass. So like I said, the kayfabe is, the lid's been blown off of it. We're living in an age now where almost every single wrestler has a social media page, whether it be a Facebook or Twitter, or the most telling of all, Instagram, where we can see the pictures, we see the wrestlers hanging out, we see Rusev with Lana and everything. We all know that they're not like some international anti-American villains, So the thing is, stop with the nonsense already, if that is the case. Because it's time to fucking stop with the kayfabe totally. You can't have social media, Total Divas, and all this other stuff for getting to know the wrestlers, even on your own YouTube page, getting to know these wrestlers, having them do these shoot promos and everything. And it's good, like, and everything, you want to make these celebrities, then you can't come on the show on Raw and SmackDown and say, okay, well, now it's time to go back to kayfabe, because it looks fucking ridiculous. It looks stupid as fuck that you're having these wrestlers acting out their real lives on Total Divas and all this shit, and then when you come on the show, you'd have a better show if you stopped at the kayfabe. It's 2018. Every single person knows that this shit is faker than fake. They know that this stuff on Raw and SmackDown is not real. So how about you start blurring that line again by having these wrestlers actually act like who they are? It would be more interesting, and I guarantee you, not only we get better promos, we'd actually get storylines back again, and we'd actually have characters with defined personalities, and we'd have, more important, just characters back once again. But they ain't gonna do that, because I don't know what it is. They've got one foot in 2018 when it comes to social media, but the other foot is still over here back in 1973, like we're still back in the AWA. I don't understand. We're even pre, WWF. We're WWF now. We're still doing this old school bullshit. I mean, the wrestling felt realer back in the 80s, even with all the over-the-top characters. It just did. Now you've just got some weird-ass shit going on where they're like, one side of it's on. They want to put. The thing is, it wouldn't be so bad if they didn't keep on pushing social media to the level that they do. But they keep inviting you to follow them on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and all this fucking shit. And then, you're going to see that nothing is consistent. They want you to watch Total Divas, but then how come on Total Divas this girl's got an accent on the wrestling show, but doesn't have one on the Total Divas show, which is supposed to be the real life? So why are they pushing all these shows like Ride Along, Remember, at least in the documentaries, I still remember this, even in the early 2000s, like on the Ric Flair one. They used to still do it kayfabe. Now they don't even do that anymore in the documentaries. Now they don't even bother with the kayfabe. And it drives me crazy, because if they're not going to do the kayfabe, then don't do the kayfabe on the show. Don't just have it all gone out the window. We get it. It's 2018. If we want to see kayfabe, we'll look at it on the network. It's time to get reality-based. You could still have characters and everything, but you can still do it in a better sense. If you're going to have these characters act out their real lives, if everybody's so obsessed with social media, they have to have a social media page where they're going to completely do away with their wrestling personas that they're giving on TV from the creative and Vince McMahon, then you might as well just do away with it on the show completely. For the sake of consistency, because you have none. End rant. I'm done talking about this. I'll talk about it in future videos. It's time for the Carmella-bration. Oh, by the way, Lana's going to have a match with Billie Kay, Money in the Bank qualifier. Yay! Carmella is going to have her royal celebration. It gets interrupted by Paige. She introduces her challenger at the pay-per-view. It's going to be Asuka. There's no physicality. I thought that maybe she might try hitting Asuka with the belt when she wasn't looking or some shit, but no, it just kind of goes off. Carmella just is arguing with Paige. Thanks for that, I suppose. That was very unexciting. Then we had, you're going to have this whole giant celebration, and there's not even going to be any payoff to it. There's an announcement for a match. Becky Lynch defeated Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Once again, we're wasting Sonya Deville here. She could be so much more, but, like I said, if they kept her on Raw or put Rousey to SmackDown with her, we could have had a really cool MMA fight. Instead we're going to have Ronda and Nia Jax, which just seems like a weird match to me. I am still reeling. See, this is why I'm just trashing everything on this show. It's a bad show. I'm not just trashing for the hell of it, but I'm in an extra bad mood, especially after the, this is gonna be awesome, or remember that shit with Charlotte and everything? Holy fuck. Holy cow. Like, people saw my Raw, even if for the people who didn't see Raw, people saw my thumbnail. Yeah, that's actually what happened on the show for Raw, so you can kind of see why, my brain's already fucking, from Raw. Not in the mood here. So, Sonya Deville can have so much going for her, but they're not interested in doing anything with her, of course. Samoa Joe's cutting a selfie promo. Okay, so he's going to have a match with Big Cass. Does Big Cass have any credibility left? What is with Joe? What is this room he's cutting it in? The video quality was a bit better. I guess he wiped his camera lens with them ridiculous-looking clown shorts of his. He rubbed the lens so it, clear up a little bit. Not as blurry and shit. I'm taking a look at this, and I'm just like, you just destroyed Big Cass in the first segment. So why am I interested in seeing him in a match with Samoa Joe? Obviously, Joe is probably going to go over. They look like they've given up on Cass. But then again, thanks to the Even Stevens booking, maybe I'm wrong. I don't even know. You got Samoa Joe. My God. The Samoa Joe like face, man. Why do we have to look at him so fucking close up? This is why I hate these selfies. It's like always capturing their least flattering side. Fucking at least the camera is away from him when it's a normal backstage. But what is this obsession? Like, you know, is he not there? Did he not show up to? Why does he need to cut a selfie? I mean, this is a state-of-the-art, multi-million, hundreds of millions of dollars. Like I said, a lot of times Vince McMahon even has $1 billion, depending on what day of the week it is. So, and you're telling me you can't get a camera crew there for a fucking minute to do the same promo joke, you know, cut so we can at least have it in better quality? If the quality is available, why are you at least not giving us him on camera? He has to shoot it on his fucking cell phone. And, you know, this is a qualifying match, and whatever, it's two heels. Like, what? Why am I, unless Joe is going to be a face now or some tweener character, does anybody fucking care? I mean, the credibility of the man's gone out the window anyway. The Iconics cut a selfie promo, like the fucking selfie-a-thon here. They were doing a word association, and I just kind of like blanked on this. They're so fucking annoying, I couldn't even hear what they were saying. They were just, I mean, oh, good God almighty. It's not, I already explained this. It's not like, I get it, they're supposed to be annoying, obnoxious, like Valley Girls, but, like, with the accents and everything, I mean, I gotta be quite honest with you, I didn't even understand what they were saying. I'm not being mean because of the accent and anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I couldn't even focus in on the words. I was like, what did they say? Like, I mean, they just kind of just overemphasize that annoying, like, tone that they're going for, and it just comes off inaudible, like, in this promo. So I don't even know what they were saying, but whatever, they were just like, oh, it's going to be iconic, and they were, like, you know, laughing about the fact that they said iconic, and the fact that they even call this team the Iconics when they're the least iconic thing that you could ever imagine. You think of, I mean, maybe it's supposed to be ironic, you know, the fact that they're called the Iconics, you know, and when you think of iconic, you think of, like, Stone Cold, The Rock, or Hulk Hogan, or Undertaker, and then it's just these two fucking amateurish girls that, you know, can't even fucking wrestle a believable style, can't even cut a promo that's not just completely overacted and annoying as fuck to listen to. I mean, you know, like, this is, like, a mystery to me. Like, why was this team called up? I mean, I understand, like, everybody's coming from, oh, the Iconics are hot, they look good. I get that. So are many other girls on the roster. But they're just completely annoying to listen to. I can't stand even listening to this team for 2 seconds. I couldn't even understand what they were saying during the damn promo, because they keep accentuating this thing in their foot, and I'm like, I can't even hear what they're saying. It's just getting all garbled up because they're so focused on their overacting and over-the-top performance of their promo. It doesn't even come off to the ear. I can't even understand it. So then you've got your main event. And this is, like I said, it's a main event that just, I can't believe that they'd even put this out here. It's not even like they've not done this before, because they have. Nakamurphy and AJ Styles in a match to decide the stipulation of their match. Winner gets to pick the stipulation. At least they didn't announce the stipulation right after the match like the last time they did one of these types of matches. At least they're probably going to wait till next week. Probably, definitely, that's when they're going to announce it. So, you know, we had that ridiculous promo with him and Renee Young. My head's already fucking spinning. My ears are ringing from this shit. You know, Nakamurphy, you know, pretends like he got low blowed. You know, then he finishes off AJ. You know, and we have a 20-minute match here. We already been having 20, 30-minute matches. Like I said, we already had the match at Mania. We had it at the Greatest Royal Rumble. We had it again at Backlash. And here we have, again, another match between them. Not to mention all the tag team matches that these guys were involved in leading up to their matches at WrestleMania and their matches after WrestleMania. I mean, it's flat out exhausting. Flat out exhausting. They're just having match after match after match after match after match after. I mean, the thing is, how are we supposed to be excited for this match when it's already happened on free fucking TV? You understand what I'm saying there? We just had a match. Unless the stipulation is so much different, you know, hopefully they do like a cage match or something to liven this shit up a bit. Do not pick a ladder match because we're already going to see 2 of those at fucking Money in the Bank, so I will fucking just, you know, I will lose my mind if they pick a ladder match. So, to me, I think the best way they could go is probably the cage match. Just do something like that, whatever the case may be. And, you know, I don't understand the thing about this feud. They're so focused on low blows, it's getting like a bit weird already. Okay, so we didn't see a low blow. There was a fake low blow, but it was still centered around the low. Just get away from that thing already. It's enough already. You know, it's already creeped me out with Nakamurphy holding his fucking hand after low blowing AJ like he's like, you know, obsessed, like he'll never wash this hand again because it touched AJ's genitalia. I mean, you know, there you go, guys. I mean, there's your SmackDown review. What did you think? I mean, this is total fucking nonsense. I mean, this is 2018, for God's sakes, and we're still complaining about problems we had in 2012. Not much has changed, has it? You know, there should have been a time, like I said, after CM Punk cut the pipe bomb in 2011, and that supposedly changed the wrestling. It didn't change shit, okay? It didn't change anything. From that point on, it was almost that things got worse. Because then we got to see that what if wrestling could be without the kayfabe, without the nonsense? What if it was? Remember what Triple H had said in 2014, it's the reality era? And I remember I said, I even did a rant on that. I said, there is no reality era. You know, marks, you know, the annoying ones with the chants in the crowd, those are the ones that wanted to think of it as the reality era. Like, now we're going to pay attention to the fans, and that's what makes it. No, the reality era would be this. Like when I explained already, when I started going off on the whole Lana thing and the whole kayfabe thing with social media, with The Undertaker and all that. The whole thing that would really make this the reality era is if they did away with all these fucking in-ring personas that completely contradict their personas on social media. I says, just kill kayfabe. Put the knife in its heart and just kill it straight up. Just stop already. You have this weird thing where they're like living 2 fucking double lives. You just have them do one fucking persona and, you know, just have it carry through. Why? What is the point of doing that? If you want to push these other shows, you want to push Ride Along on the network, you want to expose the business. If you're trying to expose the business on your own network and with all these podcasts and everything like that, and you want to invite Bruce Pritchard on and you want to, you know, expose the business with all these fucking stories from the road and everything like that and backstage things and do away with kayfabe in your documentary presentations, then just do away with it altogether because it looks completely ridiculous. We all know that wrestling's always going to be fake, and that's the case, but what the deal with the personas when that's half the battle is, you know, these are your personalities. These are the people playing roles on TV. Make it seem like they're playing less of a role. Like I said, thin that fine line once again. You know, make it blurry again. Don't make it so obvious as it is right now. So there you go, guys. There is your SmackDown review. There's a lot to fucking get annoyed about on these shows nowadays because they're so completely awful. And they're devoid of anything good. There's not a single thing on this show that you could praise. I mean, the thing is, you've got a guy, Cien Almas. Okay, he looks promising. But you all know that they're going to ruin the guy in a few weeks with the Even Stevens booking. They don't even know what to do with the fucking Bludgeon Brothers. Hell, they don't even know where to go with Styles and Nakamurphy, their own fucking champion. They don't even know what to do with them. The fact that they're even booking the match on the show to decide the stipulation. They're even booking. Just pick a stipulation. There shouldn't have to be a match to decide who gets to pick the stipulation. Just use Paige on there, right? She's the authority figure. Just have her pick who what it's going to be. I don't. Instead, we have to sit through another 20-minute match. I mean, come on, guys, already. Just you have 5 hours of TV every single week, and you make the same mistakes. You have opportunities to tell stories. And you fail to do so. I mean, my guy, all you want to do is just have these mind-boggling matches. Every single week, these long, drawn-out matches. Enough is enough already. Get it together, motherfuckers. Anyway, guys, this has been your YWC champ, and I'm signing out.